Hey everyone, welcome back to episode 20 of Jack Out of the Box. This week I'll go over what I've been up to, and then a bit of a new one of Mac Miller's new mixtapes made it to streaming in like July. So it's kind of a new one for me, so that's pretty fun. Yeah, what I wrote down the other day listening to it are kind of my first full um mixtape listen. Yeah, so it's kind of my raw thoughts about it, which is pretty cool. Um, yeah, so I guess I'll get started with what went on since I recorded the last episode. Yeah, so that was Friday. I recorded episode 19 that morning just because I said in my notes here I've written that I was busy, but I was busy playing video games with my mates on Thursday afternoon, so I didn't record. But that's fine because Friday I don't have class and I had written everything I wanted to say, so it was easy to just do it then. And then what else did I do on Friday? Probably played games because that's what I normally do. I think I might have worked on my PowerPoint just to finish it off before I could hand that in. Then Saturday, once I got up, I did some uni stuff on my website, not a whole lot because I was stuck and didn't really want to do that next part, which was to add a technical widget that I basically had to create, and I thought I was in over my head. Then we went to Wiseman's Bowling Club for lunch, and then once I came home, I played games all afternoon, which was pretty fun. Um, Yeah, and then what else happened? Saturday, nothing. I just hung out at home all night. Then Sunday, I went back to work on my website and had found um, some tips to add a simple clock widget. So I used that and basically customized it to suit my needs and what I needed. Yeah, this was a bit I was going to skip, but because I'd found a simple way to put a widget in, I changed it up and did that instead. So then Monday classes were online this week because of the UCI World Champions bike race. So heaps of roads are closed, so all the tutors and lecturers and stuff don't have to struggle to get to campus. Everything's just online. So yeah, I stayed at home and had my management information systems lab, where we were just going through what everyone had put on the forum about all the different business intelligence systems that they'd put on there and sorted them into whether they were or weren't actually BI systems, which I think all of them were because it was pretty easy to determine whether something was business intelligence before we even put it on there. And then I had my 207 front end web development lecture, where we talked about indexed DB, which is a built in database to most browsers that makes it easier for client side storage on a website than utilizing local storage, because then that it's larger, it's faster, it's easier to access through JavaScript and HTML. Yeah, and then the objects stored within this indexed DB are accessed via an index or individual keys, whether you want a group of things with the same, with some of the same identity characteristics, and then or individual keys where you would only get one thing with that specific key that you asked for. Then my 207 lab, where I presented my website for the last time that it was that website. For task 5, we have to make a new one that does a bunch of other stuff. So we had a new tutor, which was pretty cool. a really chill guy. He thought my sound effects on my website were awesome. I did get a few things wrong, but because I could demonstrate my understanding when he got to me to mark, I only lost half a mark, which I was pretty happy about. After I'd sat there for, I think the class started at 2:30 and I didn't get marked till 4 o'clock, and there were people still to get marked after me. So I think I was looking in our group chat we have after, and some people were still there at 4:45, which is after the class is meant to finish. So yeah, I'm happy I got to go when I did, not right at the end when the class was supposed to be done. Yeah, and then I just hung out, played some games, had some dinner. Yeah, then went to bed. Then Tuesday I had my 204 intro to e-business lab. Lecture, sorry, where we talked about the different threats that e-commerce faces in its life cycle, mainly the threats, vulnerabilities, and technical attacks, like internet fraud, phishing, and spam. Then the lab for that class, where we're presenting our PowerPoints about our favorite e-commerce website. I wasn't supposed to go, but I kind of had my fingers crossed that I would get asked to go if there was any spare room time for someone else to go. So yeah, I got to go because of the couple people that were meant to be presenting that day weren't in class, so I got to go, which I was expecting. I wanted to get a go, but I wasn't expecting I was going to get a go. So I I didn't have my computer set up properly for it, and just stuffed up having 2 monitors and sharing one over Zoom and being able to see the notes I've written for my PowerPoint just didn't work. I have one vertical monitor and one sideways landscape. So I was using my portrait one to display the actual PowerPoint and sharing that to the Zoom class. And then on my main landscape monitor, I had the PowerPoint in like presenter mode where it has your notes and stuff. And it was tiny on the Zoom end. It was tiny because it was showing the whole vertical screen, which was squishing down to fit. So the PowerPoint was really tiny. And then I had stuffed around trying to get that to work on one monitor, and that caused Zoom to crash a couple times and PowerPoint just go not responding for a bit. And I was just like, I'm so sorry, guys. I wasn't really prepared to go today, but here I am. Thanks for sticking with me while I work this out. So then I just turned off one monitor and just used my main landscape one, which made it good for them. But then when I shared it in presenter mode, presenter mode didn't work because there was only one screen. So I attempted to do it with my notes in my brain, and that sucked. I read one slide and went, sorry guys, I need to sort this out because I can't do this like this. I can't remember what I wrote down. So yeah, I got out of slideshow mode and just presented with the normal PowerPoint editor window so I could actually read my notes and everyone else could see my slides, which I was way happier that I was able to do that because I could actually read to the people the stuff I wanted to say, not just what I thought I wanted to say. Yeah, so that was Tuesday. Then after that fiasco, I just hopped on Rocket League, and Isaac was on and Angus was on, and we played for like 2 hours and we played pretty good and it was fun. Then Wednesday, I wrote my script that I'm doing for my podcast now, just so I am not thinking off the top of my head while I'm talking. It's a bit less natural, but I mean, I can just add more stuff as I'm talking, so that makes it pretty easy. Then I just played games because it's the first day of my mid-semester break, because I've got a really strange timetable that I only have on Monday and Tuesday, and then Thursday today was a public holiday, so I didn't have class today. So I got essentially because of the October long weekend, I get 2 weeks off, which is pretty cool. And then we went to trivia. There was only 4 of us. We got screwed over because we don't know teen dramas or One Direction, because there was Ali, Angus, me, and Scott. So, yeah, we did really crap, but that's all right. We had fun. Then today, I worked on my next task for web programming, which meant I had to do a lot of trial and error because I knew what I wanted to get done for it, but I didn't exactly know how to do it. So yeah, using the internet and past assignments for that class and code examples that we've got from the lecturer, I managed to get what I wanted to do today done, which was good. Then Scott was on today, so we were going to go to Wiseman's Bowling Club again for lunch, but it was raining, so we sort of decided we were going to walk anyway, and then we got out the front and I put my poncho on and went out in it, and Angus and Scott just stood there looking at me like I was an idiot, and I was like, well, are we going or not, guys? And they were like, yeah, we're just deciding. And I was like, okay, well, we're going to get soaked, so let's just stay here. After we stood there and contemplated it for like 5 minutes, and then I was just like, yeah, we're not going anywhere. So we came back inside and gave Scott some money, and he ducked out, and we got kebabs instead and ate it at home instead of out, which was fine because I didn't want to get rained on. Then I played some games after that, and now I'm recording this podcast. So yeah, that's my week. I'm sure, well, next week I don't even know I think I might just skip the weekly recap because next week I'm just going to be, the week just gone for you guys anyway, is going to be my mid-semester break, and I think all I'm going to have said is I worked on my website and I played games, which I can probably just say that and then go on with whatever music I'm doing that day, which is what I'm going to skip to now because I'm finished my recap. Yeah, so this week, I think last week I said it was going to be Blue Slide Park, but having opened the Wikipedia discography of Mac Miller, it's come out like 3 weeks after the one I'm talking about today, I Love Life, Thank You. So this was a mixtape Mac released back in 2011. He did a bit of a promotion thing on Twitter, Road to 1 Million Fans, where every 100,000 followers he released a new song. And when he reached 1 million, he released the mixtape I Love Life, Thank You, where I think 7 of the tracks on the mixtape had been released before as part of the Road to 1 Million Fans. And then in July this year, I Love Life, Thank You was re-released to streaming services. So it's available to way more people now, which was pretty cool because I hadn't had since Faces came to Spotify last year. There hasn't been a new Mac mixtape or album come to Spotify, so that was pretty awesome. So I'm just gonna open my music notes and let's get started. So, pardon me. The first track, I Love Life, Thank You, starts off, ladies and gentlemen, I've always been the same kid, la la la, now I'm famous, and I ain't even have to change shit. Mac knows that even though now he's famous, he's still the same kid from Pittsburgh, and he decided from a young age he didn't want to change anything and see where that got him, and he didn't change anything and he got where he wanted to go, where he was trying to get to during the recording and creation of this mixtape. Hold that, wait for it to flash, get the picture, I ain't doing much, just out on this adventure, yeah. Mac is being a bit humble again. in his journey to fame. Fame. Telling people not to see what he's doing as being something tough. He's just a kid on an adventure. Always been amazing since the day I've been hanging in ancient places. Now the kid famous and he ain't even had to change shit. Then Cocky Mac comes back. He thinks he's always been something amazing since he's just been hanging out in places years ago. But now he's famous without having to change anything. So, I guess he's sort of thinking that, if I didn't have to change anything to get where I am, like, look at me, look how good I am, sort of thing. So then going on to track 2, People Under the Stairs. This was released after 300,000 followers and was the beginning of Road to 1 Million fans. Very chill beat sampled from San Francisco Nights by People Under the Stairs, which I'm guessing is where the name came from. And it sort of starts off guessing the best thing for me to do is spit it. This shit never a gimmick. You listen for more than a minute. Mac thinks the greatest thing he can do is spit bars. And most of what he says has a deeper meaning than it seems. Making everyone listen to it for a bit longer than a minute just to think about it and understand what he's trying to say and how it affects the person, I guess. When you listen to him like I do, you do think about stuff more than just a song because, Mac was just a kid making music, and I feel like a lot of people can connect with that, just grinding to achieve something, which I guess is where I'm at with this podcast. I'm just grinding to once a week get an episode out and attempting to grow my audience so that everyone, can have my podcast available to them. And I can grow my audience and get more people to listen to it, which would be really awesome. Trapped in my own goal line, ready to go the distance. Consider it's a privilege that you get to witness. Although it is Mac's dream to make his career out of beats and rapping, he feels trapped in it, but is comfortable with that because it is his dream. Then saying the world's privileged to be around at the same time, and people should acknowledge that he is a big deal and he does make good music. Then the next one is Willie Dynamite, track 3. Released after 900,000 followers, which was the last track before I Love Life, Thank You was officially released. Is a homage to the 1974 film Willie Dynamite, where Willie's a pimp in New York City pushing to become the number one in the city. About to drop an album, hope to blow your mind, trying to reach a level where no music is put over mine. Referencing that I Love Life is being released, and then Blue Slide Park very shortly after. He hopes his listeners love it and have their minds blown, and that again, Mac is thriving to become the guy everyone in the rap game is trying to be better than, just to, be the top. Mac feels like he's Willie Dynamite and he wants to become the number one rapper. And then track 4, The Scoop on Heaven. Mac's giving us his take on what he thinks heaven is like. Just a place that we can kick it, be happy at satisfaction, or maybe I'm dreaming, tell you what it's like when I see it. Mac believes heaven's just a chill place to relax and be happy after life, I guess. Once you're there, you may feel a sense of satisfaction, or maybe Mac has no idea and he's just speculating what it'd be like. But he wants to tell us when he gets there. And he does know what heaven's really like. I think then the chorus, if you hear what heaven's like, could you tell me, please? I'm really trying to know, 'cause I do what I do when it's all said and done. Shit, I'm just trying to go. In this chorus, Mac wants, if anyone can tell him what heaven's actually like, he wants them to tell him, and that when his life is all said and done, he's trying to be the next man in heaven. I heard ain't nobody famous up in heaven 'cause everybody the same. Just kick it up there in heaven 'cause no one's going to change. He believes fame doesn't exist in heaven. You just average Joes and famous people are all the same. And that you just kick it together and it's not going to change up there. That's just it, relaxing and hanging out. But come to think of it, I've been drinking shit. I don't know the truth. This is just what I imagined when I was standing in the booth. The last bar, Max obviously reflecting that he doesn't really know what heaven's like. He's been drinking too much and doesn't know whether what he's thinking is the truth, which it probably isn't. Yeah, and that this song was just him imagining what heaven was to be like while he was recording. Then track 5, Love Lost, released after 400,000 followers. He brings in the Temper Trap to join him on this track. I think this song is about Mac losing love with some of his friends during his rise to fame. And now he's found that love again, that he has made it, and his grind has calmed down a little bit. You said my love was a bit too much. I won't deny it. Broke my heart. Can't find no crutch. So why don't you come back home? Can I spit? The end of the chorus becomes a call to his friends to come back to him. Mac knows that his love was a bit too intense while he was grinding to make it in the rap game. And now he's calmed that down a little bit. He wants them to come back to him so he can have his friends from when he was growing up, the real ones. Then Pranks for Players. I think this one's aimed at his haters again. Rearrange and keep on saying, I'm a goddamn fool. Tell me quit playing. I'm like, no can do. Especially in this verse, his haters think he's a fool for trying to make it. Wanting him to quit where he is rather than the possibility that he may not make it and his dream might become his nightmare. But Mac stamps this out with a no can do. Mac believes he's gonna make it, and if he doesn't, I guess he understands that he has to live with failure, I guess, if he didn't make it, which I think he can rest easy knowing that he did make it, which is awesome. These rappers talking shit when all this shit is whack. Yeah, I said it on wax. Yeah, I'm pulling stars from the sky. Mac won't take the rappers talking crap about him. Especially those that make, in Mac's opinion, whack music. He says it on the record, so he knows there's no turning back, and he actually believes that's the truth. By pulling stars from the sky, Mac's going to be overtaking the current stars, or big players in the rap game. Then track 6 is Cold Feet, released after 800,000 followers. Mac raps about him wanting to get married to the money, but the money getting cold feet because all of Mac's partying antics. Spun the wheel, bought a vow. Mac cleverly references the game show Wheel of Fortune. We spin the wheel and buy letters. In Mac's case, the vows he bought were IOU, which was referenced in the next bar. I don't know you nothing still. Then track 7, Family First, released after 500,000 followers. Mac spits on one verse and Talib Kweli joins for the second. Talib is essentially passing words of wisdom on in the rap world to Mac, passing from one generation to the next. We love the things that keep on bringing out the kids in us. The newer generation of rappers like to spit bars that make them feel like kids again. I've got the time, but feel the need to run. A fool is what I've become, young and I'm dumb. Mac feels he's forever, or feels as he has forever, as he's young, but needs to run to achieve his dreams, which he didn't, so making him a fool. Then Mac references Nike's on my feet from kids. It's cool to say that my cipher complete. Then Talib comes in for his verse, hitting with the bars. I'm so sick with the verbs I use, the words they heal us. They love how we kill it on stage, man, murder theatres. Talib is just basically saying old rappers' lyrics are those that can be used to heal us, as opposed to youngins who are just trying to make them feel young again. Older rappers, fans enjoy watching guys do really good when they're performing on stage, essentially killing the theatre. That hen is not a fraud. I'm on that Lagavulin, whatever substance. I'll abuse it like a grown man. You're not a kid no more. No one to hold your hand. Talib has moved from Henny to Lagavulin or Cognac to Scotch. Whatever he's drinking or whatever he does it like a grown-up man, telling Mac he's not a kid no more. So he needs to make it on his own, as no one's going to be there to do it for him. Then my favorite track, the Miller Family Reunion, released after 700,000 followers. Max rapping about his family and mates catching up for their annual barbecue. The beat's really cool. Sampled from Yes It's You by Charles Sherrill. All these days already gone by. Man, I ain't seen your ass in a long time. A lot of days has gone since Mac hasn't seen his family or his friends for a while, with touring and recording taking up most of his time. I'm hoping that we can kick it, reminiscing only about the good times. I know there's moments when you probably love me, but you didn't want to show it. Mac wants to hang out with his people and remind each other about all the good that they've achieved and don't want to talk about their struggles. Mac acknowledges that with his family, or that his family may have loved him during his struggles while he was grinding, but they were too embarrassed to be associated with him, so didn't say anything. There's a family reunion, all the grandmas be moving, running in three-legged races. People would cry if they losing. When I was 2, my slide was blue. In their reunion, the grandmas are getting around the group, make sure they talk to everyone. The fun three-legged races that everyone always takes way too seriously, which, I mean, everyone has something that their family just takes way too seriously, even though it's really dumb. Then Mac references Blue Slide Park, the park in his neighborhood where he grew up in. This place means a whole lot to Mac. His first album is named Blue Slide Park after this park. Then 13, 12, 11, 10. Track 10, Boom Bap Rap. Mac rapping about his style of rap and the beats that Big Germ generally creates, who's Mac's producer and one of his childhood friends. We hit a party, had a little music to turn up loud. 92 till infinity, just some shit you ain't heard in a while. Mac's hit a party and he has his loud music so everyone in the neighborhood can hear him. Mac was born in 92. He plans on living and partying forever to some old music that he vibes with. That boom bap rap. They ask me how I do it. I'm going to tell them I'm just cool like that. Cocky Mac comes back again, as he does. When people ask him how he makes his beats and writes his bars, Mac just responds that he's cool with it, that he just does it. He doesn't have to try, it just happens. Ain't nothing new, I'ma do what I do. Last line of the chorus in the song eventually is Mac saying that what he's doing isn't new to him, but it may be to others in the game. But he doesn't care, he's just going to do it, regardless of if people think it's strange or not, no one's done it before. He reckons it sounds cool, so let's do it. Then track 11, Just a Kid, released after 600,000 followers. They either hate or they on your side. Opening line of the chorus and the whole song. Mac believes he only has haters and fans, no one who is in between that. So no one who just knows he exists but doesn't really care. And I know that they never understand because I'm just a kid, but they tell me I'm the man. Hey, the last bar of the chorus, Mac knows that they, adults, don't understand what he's doing because he's just a kid. And the fans say he's the man. Mac is confused because his fans and the adults are just saying the opposite of each other. It's not really, he doesn't know where he is or whether he is actually the man because half the people don't know who he is or what he's doing, and the other half tell him he's the best. I'd be goofy, kind of funny, acting stupid, but they love me. We don't do it for the money, just some food up in my tummy. Mac's still a kid, acting goofy, being dumb, but his fans still love him. Because many of his fans felt like and still feel like kids, so they can connect with what Mac's saying. He isn't doing it for the money, so he can fill his belly. He probably should be putting the money away, but he's just a kid living for now, not the future. And this for those who always came to shows and who were still by my side with no bank to blow. Whoa. The end of the second verse is shout out to those who will always come and see Mac and those that will still be with him when his money runs out. Or even when it... Oh, hang on. Sorry, I got a nose itch. Yeah, I guess not even those that are there when the money runs out, but there when the money wasn't there. Not his fake friends that just showed up because there was money. Those who were there before the money and who will be there after it. Then the next one, track 12, All That. They just want the women and cars getting high so they can chill with some stars, but it's deeper than all that. Mac knows generally people think like he did. Being famous is just women and cars doing drugs to hang out with people who are also famous. But in reality, it's more than that. Wouldn't mind a little bankroll pesos, but I'm here for way more. What is someone if they can't love a hater? Someone give him a hug, aha. We here to change the world. We're here to change the world with this thing called rap, homie. Believing is all that. Mac would be happy to live with the money from fame, but he wants to use his platform for more than that. If people can't love, then they a hater. Give him a hug. Mac's here to make a change in the world with all his rapping. All he needs to do is believe in it, and he can help make a difference. And then the last track, 13, All This. All this money, getting all this shine, and it's all so funny because it's all just mine. I'm feeling better than ever before. This my life, hey, for better or for worse. Mac embraces that now his life is all money, fame, and he thinks because it's funny because it's all his. And he can feel like he's made it now, and he just sits back and laughs that he actually made it. He can now live better than before because of all the stuff he has now, and he's embraced this in his life now. But he doesn't know if it's for better or worse. I think maybe due to the time this came out, was sort of the beginning of, I don't know if Mac listened to Kanye or paid attention to what happened there, but yeah, money and fame went to Kanye's head and it wrecked him, like really wrecked him. And I think Mac may be scared that the money and fame might go to his head as well. And yeah, I mean, seeing what the rest of his music's like and what his life ended up, I think maybe it did get the most of him too. He tried really hard to make make the most out of his life and make sure he was healthy and surround him with people that really cared. But yeah, maybe his fame was for the worse. I don't know. I think a lot of people, a lot of Mac heads probably should listen to this song. Just yeah, Mac said life was deeper than all money and fame and girls and drugs, but yeah, maybe it wasn't for him. Yeah, I guess that's something for me to think about off air as well. Yeah, I mean, maybe it was for the worst, but I think you ask most people that listen to Mac's music, and yeah, they wouldn't. Yeah, I wouldn't say it was for the worst because far out, we wouldn't have had like far out, man. Swimming is just amazing. Circles. We wouldn't have had those two albums if Mac didn't get famous. Um, like even Good AM, like what the heck? That album is so good. The songs on that are just awesome. And even his early stuff is really good. Like far out, he didn't get famous. Him and Ariana wouldn't have been a thing, and we wouldn't have got the Divine Feminine. Like that's my favorite Mac album. He's just singing about being in love, and it's just awesome. So maybe for his fans, maybe it was for the better, but maybe for him and his life, it was for the worse. So yeah, mate, I'm gonna go with that. Maybe it was both. It was for the better and for the worse. Just depends who you ask. Um, yeah. So with that, that brings me to the end of I Love Life. Thank you. Um, the Spotify link will be below for you guys if you want to listen. Um, yeah. But other than that, I will talk to you guys next week with Blue Slide Park. I know it's Blue Slide Park next time. So that'll be fun. All right. Thank you. Bye.